Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Otherwise Yak 7118 and says, am I the arsehole for scolding my sister in front of everyone while she's going through a divorce? Myself, 29 female, and my husband, 36 male, went to visit both our parents. They live 8 hours away from us by flight, and it was expensive, but we do it because holidays mean a lot, and also to see my niece, Rue. Apologies for the pronunciation, 5 female. She is my world, and I love her to death. For this vacation, her mum, my sister Mila, 29 female, was missing from most of our family gatherings and was spending time with her boyfriend and doing part-time. We have a good relationship, but I was really worried that Rue doesn't get time with her mum and angry that she just leaves her with all of us. She leaves in the morning and comes late. Apparently, this has been going on for months. For brief context, she is separated from brother-in-law and she wants a divorce and he wants to try. But she comes back home to her parents' house because they were not compatible and it's messy. So she is a single mother and I send her allowances for her and Rue, and also for other housing expenses directly to her so she can give our parents rent and focus on Rue and have a smooth divorce. I send her a total of 10k and my fund money account, which she has access to and uses. She sees a therapist and I get charged for this as well. Additionally, my husband pays for her divorce lawyers. We both work hard and are not rich, but we are good enough. I know it's not easy what she is going through, and I've never questioned her when there are withdrawals. But this holiday, I was so mad at who she is and who she is turning into. According to Mum, Rue is missing her mum and has withdrawn so much. She has not been giving them rent and not helping around the house and doesn't even take care of Rue. Mum works and Dad looks after Rue until Mum comes home. They are also old and cannot really actively interact with her. My mum was upset at me for not helping Mila out financially, as they are also struggling with 4 mouths to feed. I've never been as angry as I was then. I observed her for a week, and the second week I confronted her privately. She said being a single mum is hard and she is de-stressing. I called BS and asked her what she has been doing with the money. I'm glad she is working part-time, but what she is doing with Rue when she is comfortable, and even more angry that none of the money I give is going towards Rue or helping with her. She stormed out of the room and said I'm ruining the holidays and being judgmental and she is going through so much. I told her how dare she say that after I give her everything, even when I don't have the money left, to buy new clothes for Christmas because I thought it was worth it. And if she doesn't stop and focus on Rue, then the money stops. I was so mad I forgot everyone could hear us. All of our parents heard it. I felt so awful for exposing all of this, but I was so mad. She called me an arsehole, and so did my brother, saying I could have picked a different time. Now that I am calm, I feel like an arsehole for exposing her like that. Vacation has been awkward since. So in the comments on this one, people were asking more about the specifics of the money, to which OP responded saying, she asked for the money and I agreed until she gets back on her feet. The others we paid because she is my sister after all, but I'm so scared she might spiral if we took the money away from her, even more than she is now. I only know what she spends when she withdraws from my account. The other 10k I don't know and have never asked. Rent is only for utilities and food, the rest for them both to just be as comfortable as they were before. I'm just so confused and don't know if I played a part in this. Someone suggests OP should just pay the parents and says, yes, this was the initial plan, but since Mila asked me first, I sent her everything and assumed my parents knew about it all. And I don't even know what's going on with the divorce, only that the lawyers give us updates on custody and hearing dates because we are also working and really busy on most days. And I knew she wouldn't be used to living without her almost ex-husband's financial support, so she gave me an estimate and I didn't even hesitate. Now I'm not sure if she is even the person I thought she was, or if incompatibility issues are true, or if she was cheating or what. The ex-husband is coming down as well with their lawyers and ours in a few days. That's when we will know what has been really going on. Yes, we all feel manipulated, and on top of that, she is with her boyfriend too. This was before we knew the divorce wasn't finalized yet. I'm sorry, there's so much we are still unraveling from this, but you are right, it is something that will need to be considered. Opie then supplies more information about the sis lying to her parents and says, yes, this also hurt the most when my mum said she was disappointed in me and my brother for not helping Mila out. I was shocked, and that's when everything unraveled, and I was too shocked with all the news I was getting. But that 1 week before I really took the time to see her and how she was doing to check if it was my mum being a typical worried mum. Because my sister has every right to party as well. And then she was so absent for Rue and even around us, though I rallied for her and gave her the benefit of the doubt. Now to me, this is an absolutely not the arsehole, and I wonder what we're going to be finding out in that update, because it sounds like there is going to be more to this. But I think, like was mentioned in that post, if you want to keep supporting your niece, the money needs to go to your parents rather than to her, because who knows what she's doing with that money right now. I think from this point, if you continue to give her the money, you're just going to keep enabling the behavior that she's showing right now. But Fly Guy says, not the arsehole, but OP, stop the money now and give it to your parents instead. You gave that money to her in good faith, that she would use it for her daughter, but she hasn't. You didn't ruin the holidays, she did with her greed. Manager Limp says, not the arsehole, the gravy train stops now. Where is she spending it then if she doesn't help with rent? Which I presume should be the bulk. Your sister is an arsehole, an entitled moocher arsehole. Cheese and Pasta says, not the arsehole, stop giving her money right now. She's taken advantage of you and your parents. If you want to help your niece and parents, give the money directly to them, so your sister can't use it for other purposes. She needs exposing, and your brother can mind his own business. He's free to give her money to do what she wishes if he wants to. Red Zortha says, not the arsehole, but I hope you know that you're enabling your sister's unhealthy habits. Send that money to your parents. Tell them that X amount is to cover Mila's and Rue's rent, and they can use the rest on the child and whatever is needed in the house. Your sister is 29 years old. She can get a job and earn herself fun money, since your parents are covering necessities anyway. And one more comment from TTNL35 who says, so if I got this right, you send lots of money to your sister, including money for rent, and she's just been doing God knows what with it, and lying to your parents that she can't pay them rent and you aren't sending them money. Absolutely not the arsehole, and I would be concerned that the money is being spent on drugs and partying, to be honest. She's got to be having a lot of fun doing something if she's choosing it over her daughter. People who get exposed for doing bad things, and their enablers, always claim it was the wrong time to confront them. 1 is always the wrong time. 2, the best way to not be exposed as a liar and a fraud is to not lie or defraud people. So then OP comes in with her first update, which says, update. Thank you for each and every one of your perspectives. My family and Mila and the brother-in-law are meeting today for dinner and a discussion afterwards. I've asked Mila to speak to me before brother-in-law comes, so she has a chance to tell the truth. Waiting for her to come at the moment. Since there's so much going on, I will update you all once things settle down. Thank you all for giving me courage and words to speak up and clarity. Regardless of whether I'm the arsehole or not the arsehole, I reinforce her behavior without actually finding out what's going on. For those asking why I gave her access, because we are close and she is my blood, and I have no reason to doubt her, until all of this came to light. Maybe I was manipulated all along and seeing a different side to her, or more likely she is spiraling after the divorce and separation. This also has not been confirmed, and I am this close to losing my shit too. But thank you all for your kind words and advice. OP adds another update 5 or so days later, which says update 2. Thank you for everyone who personally reached out to me and gave me some strength and resolve and all of your inputs. You guys deserve an update, but you guys also need to know some information I couldn't put due to the character limit. My sister and I are non-identical twins. She had the beauty, I had the brains, but we grew up equal and loved each other and were loved very much. But I was always the responsible one, and due to me being more academic, I was able to get a good job and do my masters. The same period, 5 years ago, my sister got married and had Rue. But because I was busy with clinical placements and my theses, I couldn't spend much time with her, hence my guilt, or visit. She used to say that her husband was mentally abusive and possessive and restricted her from going out and having fun. It was easier for me to suggest marriage counseling for them, and over time both of them said they're getting better. But she wasn't as happy being married. She had a fantasy in her head about marriage and kids, and it wasn't as easy. So she turned to different coping mechanisms like clubbing and overspending, which we didn't know and her soon-to-be ex didn't tell us. My reasons were I chose the easier path because I was also trying to cope with me not having kids yet. We are trying, and my theses and working hours, clinical psychologist, were all overwhelming. I believe she knew exactly what she was doing and manipulated us all by showing compliance, and then when she had a chance, she left her husband. I'll get into this soon. What actually happened was, she had been overspending and brother-in-law had to pick up the slack at home, and the part-time nanny, female 47, became full-time housekeeper. Her daughter, female 25, used to come to babysit Rue, and they bonded fast, and so did brother-in-law with Rue, but he maintained his distance with the new sitter. Mila grew to resent that Rue wasn't clingy with her as before and started to distance herself even more, and then started coming home late. Marriage counseling had stopped by this time due to both brother-in-law and sis not having time. And brother-in-law had seen flirty messages from a guy on Mila's Snapchat, and he told her to leave home. So she did, but with Rue, while he was at work. She had also left him a message saying she knows about him and the sitter and would let it all come out soon. Brother-in-law decided that he didn't want to continue the marriage and spoke to lawyers, and while they were preparing the documents, she was with my parents. He used to meet her outside every weekend where Mila dropped her, Rue, at the park and picked her up in the evening. But she wanted to show us all that he never cared, so didn't mention those and had told Rue not to say a word, and Rue confirmed this. Anyway, court dates have been given and we are discussing custody and visitation between our lawyers, and Mila broke down and said she needs help. She'll be going to do intense therapy with a colleague I recommended, and that brother-in-law says we can discuss partial custody. I, in the meantime, is seeing my therapist as well. I've also agreed with my sister that she will not be receiving an allowance. She has applied for a part-time job now and will be contributing to rent. I, however, will be sending my parents an allowance because I want my mum to retire. And for Rue, her dad will be taking care of her expenses. Brother-in-law is going to sponsor Mila's therapy sessions since he feels he had a part to play in her spiraling as well. But they both agreed divorce since it was toxic. I still believe Mila can work it out after she does some therapy, but that is my opinion, and I'm going to see how she changes. I'm sorry this is not nicely or neatly written, but my head is a mess, and I'm writing whatever that I recall. TIA, that thanks in advance, for all of you and your strength. Then someone asked OP to clarify if the brother-in-law was also cheating, and OP responded saying there was no emotional affair or anything appropriate according to brother-in-law. But Mila showed me screenshots of them messaging with smileys about when brother-in-law picks up Rue, and I think this was okay. And she used I to manipulate. Edit, I think she might mean that Mila used the screenshots to manipulate her. She still insisted that it felt wrong because he never sent her smileys, and I agree with this. But I think both brother-in-law and Mila could have communicated insecurities with a good marriage counselor and can still work it out. And I hope this makes sense. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account who says, am I the arsehole for throwing away the expensive whiskey my brother got me for my 40th? I'm 40 male, just turned 40 last week. I'm divorced and have 2 teenage kids with my ex-wife, 17 male and 14 female. My whole family came to my and my girlfriend's apartment last Saturday for my birthday party. My parents, some aunts and uncles, some cousins, my 3 brothers with their family, my 2 kids and my girlfriend's 15-year-old son who lives with us. I am a recovered alcoholic. I've been sober for 6 years now. Alcohol absolutely ruined my life. It destroyed my marriage and nuked my relationship with my kids for years. I don't allow alcohol in my home now for anyone. It just isn't served or tolerated here. My entire family knows this very well, as they know my entire history with alcohol. On my 40th, my brother bought me a very expensive bottle of whiskey. It had writing on it, a very heavy bottle and very old whiskey, so it probably cost him a couple of $100. When he gave me the bottle, I was shocked, and I said I don't drink, but thanks for the gift. He then opened the bottle and started pouring shots in plastic cups for everyone. My daughter had a panic attack at the smell of alcohol, which I am painfully aware is my fault and I will never forgive myself for it. So I told my brother to take the alcohol out on the balcony and just leave it there. He wouldn't do it and took a shot of the whiskey. I told him to seriously stop and he proceeded to pour the whiskey. He then said I'm acting like a sober saint now, when I ruined everyone's birthdays for years with my drinking. I told him to come to the hallway with me and talk it out. He refused and put a glass of whiskey in my hand. I took the trash can, threw the whiskey bottle in it and the plastic cups, and took the trash out. My brother then stormed off and my mum followed him. She later called me, demanding an apology for disrespecting my brother like that. My dad said I was being overly sensitive, and some of my other family members also agree. Am I the arsehole here? Absolutely not the arsehole. How dare he do that? That's absolutely disgusting. And I kind of felt when that line that said, when I ruined everyone's birthdays for years with my drinking, that's what your brother said. I kind of feel like, there's got to be resentment towards you for that. I'm not giving excuses or anything like that, because there isn't an excuse for that behavior. And for your family to play it down as being overly sensitive as well is absolutely horrible. But we'll start with some comments from Abroad Temporary, who says, not the arsehole. What your brother did is really, really awful and cruel. Possibly the worst gift I've ever heard of someone giving another, especially as he is aware of your struggles and recovery. Congratulations on recovery and standing up for yourself and your family. A Beer in a Book says, what the fuck, not the arsehole. Brother was being horrendously abusive and taunting. Read the room, dude, especially the pain this caused the kids. Not a situation to double down on your bottle flex. Mum and anyone upset at OP can pound sand and get their juice on their own time. OP should have drain poured it to prevent them from dumpster diving afterwards. I say this as someone who drinks. The level of disrespect shown OP here is off the charts. No contact, a lot of them. Edits, I realized I was being too charitable towards brother's intent. Select username says, not the arsehole. Your brother clearly has some lingering resentment and issues about your past, but instead of talking to you about it like an adult, he chose the pettiest, most passive-aggressive, and most inappropriate way to address it. You don't do that shit in front of the whole family, and especially not the kids, who, as you said, suffered enough already. Your brother is an arsehole, and your family is insane for supporting that behavior. MB Mink says, hell no, you are not the arsehole. I'm a recovering alcoholic too, and I'd have physically removed anyone from my house for gifting me a bottle of alcohol. Your family is crazy, and your brother is abhorrent. He's the one who openly disrespected you. And the rest of your family can kick rocks. You owe no apologies. You actually owe them nothing, including any explanation or reply. Congratulations on 6 years. I swear it keeps getting better. Okay, life keeps happening, but I keep getting better. I'm proud of you. And one more from Captain Noosh, who says, you are so not the arsehole. There was a clear boundary which was trampled so many ways. 1, he brought the bottle. 2, he didn't immediately realize his mistake and apologize when you pointed out you don't drink. 3, he doubled down when your child began to cry. 4, he insulted your sobriety when you stood up for your child. 5, he placed an alcoholic drink in the hands of an addict in recovery. 6, he made it all about him when you didn't violate your sobriety, presumably just for his entertainment. 7, he tried to use the previous deleterious effects of your addiction on your family as justification for his boundary trampling. 8, he ran to your mother to get the flying monkeys to work at breaking down your resolve and attacking you for your zero tolerance stance. Your brother is a prick. Good on you for remaining strong in the face of that bullying. I know that Reddit is often quick to suggest a scorched earth policy, but this guy showed up with a premeditated plan to make you back into the person you were when you were drinking. If I were you, I'd give serious thought to the future of your relationship with your brother and mother. Just how much support and positivity are you getting from them when counted against this kind of vicious psychological warfare? Also, it's 100% not the point, but if the retort comes that it was an expensive gift, then you should have been grateful in principle, if not in practice, i.e. it's the thought that counts, don't make a fuss, etc., then you can point out that the use of cheap plastic cups, practically a cardinal sin for any properly nice alcohol beverage, and the fact that he chose to distribute the gift which he had ostensibly given to you to others against your will and in spite of your protestations, that's a planned attack, which both intrinsically devalued the gift and much more importantly devalued the importance of your wants and needs in your own home, seeking to override a firmly established boundary that applies to your whole home. Fuck that guy. He sounds like he has no respect for you or your well-being, and he may plan to use that price against you, so be prepared to retaliate. I just find myself at the end of this still incredibly shocked by the family backing the brother up on this, calling OP oversensitive. Knowing what OP has gone through in the past, knowing how it affects his children, their grandchildren, it's just incredibly sad. But I gotta say, congratulations to OP on your sobriety as well. And I really wish things keep moving in the right path for you going forward. But now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.